sa mga talakayan sa law school?
Yes, very interesting topic, no? Because lahat ng mga Pilipino ata ngayon ay gusto nang malaman kung ano ba yung mga proseso, no, sa International Criminal Court. And this augurs well for us also in law school kasi marami na siguro magpa-enroll ngayon sa JMC Law School na naman, no? Kasi they are really interested in what is going on as to the vis-a-vis the case of former President Rodrigo Duterte. And this is also a very good evidence of the great love of the Filipinos for our former president, no? Kaya nga pag makita natin yung outpouring of support of the Filipinos, this has never been shown to any other accused in the past, no? Who faced cases before the ICC. First time ito nangyari na grabe ang outpouring of support and grabe yung inquiries as to the processes of the ICC such that people now would like to know what is the difference between a diffusion notice from a red notice, no? And whether or not the arrest was in fact valid, whether or not this complied with Article 59, no? And whether or not it was a surrender under Article 89 of the Rome Statute, no? Etc. etc. Nagpapakita lamang ito na yung mga kritiko po ni President Rodrigo Duterte na dapat naman nila makita na itong outpouring of support is something that they should look into. Why? Because kung ganito kadami, no, ang mga tao na nagmamahal sa kanya na ngayon ay interesado na kung ano ang mga proseso ng ICC. This is evidence, clear proof that Vox Populi, Vox Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God, and they should take heed and they should inquire why the people love him, and they should look into the reasons why the people love him. Kasi mahirap yung magpa-bright tayo tapos hindi natin kuha ang pulso ng taong bayan. Klaro ngayon ang pulso ng taong bayan, grabe nila kamahal si former President Rodrigo Duterte na maski mga complicated rules ng ICC, gusto na nilang malaman.
Oo nga sir, sa sidelines ng media interview kay VP Sara, ang mga kabayo natin sa abroad nagtatanong doon sa Article 59 ng Rome Statute. At least, di ba, nag-i-ignite ito sir ng interest. Pero sir, nabanggit po ninyo yung katagang diffusion request. Kasi sa isang article na sinulat po ni Franco Jose Baronia sa Times, sinabi niya po na ang natanggap pala na official communications by Philippine authorities sa ICC is isa pong diffusion request at hindi po isang red notice. Opo, sir.
Yes.
Bukod sa spelling, kidding aside, obvious. Ano po bang pagkakaiba nito, sir, ng diffusion notice o diffusion request at ito pong red notice? May natanong kami kagabi, pero na abogado din, pero mas mainam talaga na isang dekano ang ating makahuntahan sa sa usapin na ito.
Ganito yan. Hindi rin natin sisi yung kung sinong nandun at that time kasi never ito na nangyari sa ating bansa. Yung pumunta yung head ng PCTC, ang pinapakita, hindi nga natin na-picturean. Ngayon, after review, parang email message lang. It turned out to be a mere diffusion notice. Para lang maintindihan ng ating mga kababayan, informal pa yan. Hindi pa yan dumaan ng formal review ng General Secretariat po ng Interpol. There are more or less, there are 8 differences between a diffusion notice from a, from a red notice. First, yung definition itself and nature, no? A diffusion notice is merely a request for cooperation or alert issued directly by a member country to other member countries via Interpol Secure Global Police Communication System. Whereas a red notice is a formal request na talaga, no, issued by Interpol's General Secretariat to locate and provisionally arrest a person pending extradition based on a valid arrest warrant. Pangalawa, sino ang issuing authority? Etong diffusion notice, ang issuing authority dito ay ang National Central Bureau, NCB, or authorized entity without prior review by Interpol. Hindi pa ito nare-review ng Interpol, no? Ang NCB lamang ang nag-issue nito, whereas a red notice is officially issued by Interpol's General Secretariat after reviewing and verifying compliance with legal and procedural requirements. So naalam na nila itong red notice, kumpleto na ito, na-review na ito ng General Secretariat ng ng Interpol. Whereas yung diffusion notice, wala pa. What about pangatlong difference? Level of scrutiny. Etong diffusion is not subject to prior verification or validation by Interpol before being circulated, no? Wala pa itong hindi pa ito na-verify talaga or na-validate ng Interpol. Whereas ang red notice goes through a formal review by Interpol to ensure compliance with its constitution, particularly regarding political, military, religious, or racial issues. Now, number 4, ano ang legal effect? Ang diffusion has less formal weight. Less formal weight, ha? Kaya informal pa nga ito eh. And is merely an information sharing mechanism. Member states are not obligated to act on it. Wala tayong obligasyon na mag-act on it, no? Kung diffusion notice pa lang yun. Whereas a red notice is considered an official Interpol alert, no? Na nakadaan na ito ng review, na pag-aralan na ng General Secretariat, no? And this is considered by many countries, they recognize it as a valid basis for provisional arrest. Bakit provisional arrest? Kasi nga, dapat dumaan pa sa Article 59 na dapat dadaan din sa competent judicial authority ng bansa para ma-review ito. Number 5, scope of distribution. A diffusion notice can be sent to selected member states or regional law enforcement agencies by way of information sharing only. Whereas a red notice is circulated globally to all 195 only accessible to recipient law enforcement agencies. Kasi nga, information sharing pala ito. Hindi ito mandatory na i-follow. Whereas a red notice, it may be published already on Interpol's website if the requesting country allows, making it publicly visible. So i-publish na talaga pag red notice. Pag diffusion notice lang, hindi pa. Kasi nga, informal pa lang yun. Number 7, enforcement and compliance. A diffusion notice is discretionary. The recipient countries may or may not act upon it, no? Whereas a red notice, this is often treated as a formal request for provisional arrest in countries that recognize Interpol alerts under their legal system. Number 8, example of use. Diffusion notice can be used for a quick direct alert about a fugitive even before a red notice is processed. Whereas a red notice is typically used for serious international fugitives and requires an existing extradition treaty between involved countries. So what is the conclusion? A red notice carries greater legal weight, no? And undergoes formal scrutiny, while a diffusion notice is informal, unverified, unverified, and used for direct communication between law enforcement agencies. So napakaliki po ang diferensya nito. Informal pa lang yung diffusion notice, whereas yung red notice, na-review na yan ng General Secretariat, no? And as a general rule, kung nakalagay sa ating batas na mandatory na i-follow yan, i-follow na yan pag red notice. Pero dito kasi sa ating bansa, wala namang rule na maski na red notice yan, ay kailangan na yan i-follow, discretionary pa rin. So yun po ang nangyari dito sa ating sitwasyon po sa Pilipinas, no? Nag-set in po yung too much politics na maski diffusion notice pa lang ay dinakip na, sinurrender na ang ating former president, no? Ngayon lang ito nangyari sa buong history ng ating bansa na ang Pilipino ay kusang sinurrender ng ating authorities sa mga puti doon sa ICC.
So,
yun po.
Opo, sir, meaning kung i-invoke itong diffusion request, maaari itong gamitin na batayan sa ICC na diffusion request lang naman at hindi yan sumunod or informal, sa pagsunod sa mga rules or legal frameworks ng Interpol in serving an arrest warrant. Parang posible siyang
Yes.
magamit doon, sir.
Yes, yes, and that can be used, no. But of course, that depends upon, no. We have to be very clear. Depende talaga yan kay Attorney Nicholas Kaufman, no.